Welcome to Bloom in Full Color, where we live life in high color, full definition, ultraviolet, whatever we're going to say today, but bloom in full color. Jennifer Moss, Liz Hall is with me today.
Hall.
So our topic today is untraditional Thanksgiving ideas. However, we were just kind of talking about traditions of the holidays, and holiday movies keep coming up because we were trying to make snatchy a verb, which it is. So I would say my holiday movie would be Snatch.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
Incredible. It's actually like top 2 favorite movies. It's that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have top 3 movies. It's Boondock Saints, Snatch, and Princess Bride.
Oh, Princess Bride. Marriage.
It is a word.
Brings us
I told
together
you it was a word,
today.
Zach.
Zach,
That's
Why
our
have I not
producer.
heard of that?
Yeah, well, you now have homework. Go
and now
watch
you know how Liz is feeling today.
the Guy
Marked
Ritchie
by breaks
movie.
in continuity. Snatchy reading, a snatchy conversation.
Okay, so now you have homework. Go watch that movie.
Go watch Snatch.
And gosh, so we used to on Christmas if the ski hill was too packed because skiing on the holidays has always been a thing for us. And we took my mom. Well, we took the whole family and we went and saw Django Unchained. My mother in the blood scene, like in the plantation home where there's just it is so morbid, and she's like. I will never forget that to this day. I'm like, don't take mom to a blood and guts movie on Christmas.
Don't take Liz either.
Okay. Note to self. Everybody's kind of got a thing, but that's I don't like rom-coms.
Oh.
So that's a thing. It's not so we can go to astrology, but my house of close relationships has Aries in it, and then Venus and Mars. So I'm very passionate, direct, and aggressive.
I think that our next down the road podcast,
we got to
needs
start talking about that stuff
because we've gone through that with my kids and with myself, and I read mine every day now, and I'm like, oh, that's why I messed up.
Well, and being hard on yourself is a thing, especially as a female. Yeah. We actually are going to film our next episode today as well, and little precursor, we're going to talk about guilt and blame and shame. And it's going to be eye-opening experience for Liz. Don't worry about it. It's not a bad thing. It's actually taking it and making it a good thing.
Yeah.
So
it'll be good.
Okay. So let's go into Thanksgiving. All right. So ultimately the goal. Okay. So mind you, this is as I see the tie-dye man in front of me.
Is he stripping for us? do we have dollar bills? Dollar bills?
PJ is actually making cornbread. We're actually in our sales office at the greenhouse. We have Foodie Fridays on the opposite. Yes, he does all the time.
He needs tie-dye suspenders.
Things we don't have on camera. So we're actually we're leaving for Disney tomorrow. And we have tie-dye shirts being made that have forced family fun on the back.
They're so fun.
Because we all work together every day, and we're bringing all of our pieces, all of our nouns. My husband, the kids, we're leaving the dogs. But forced family fun. So some people dread the holidays because they don't really want to see their family. Yeah. We actually like each other most of the time. So we just kind of make it a joke because we're actually going to take a vacation together. So the goal of Thanksgiving is time with your family and friends. But ultimately, Thanksgiving comes from being able to... we're in a pass through. So you guys are going to see a lot of distractions. Bear with us. So... ultimately, Thanksgiving came from 2 cultures coming together, albeit the folks that were settling the new colonies weren't exactly, peaceful people. But that is a completely different conversation. We're going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different ways to look at this. So the first way I was thinking about, how can we make Thanksgiving untraditional? Well, the first thing you do is move it away from lunch and dinner.
Yes.
Make Thanksgiving breakfast.
Oh.
And it doesn't have to be turkey.
Have you had, speaking of weird things that are weird,
let's bring it on.
Chick-fil-A's breakfast?
I have never eaten a Chick-fil-A ever, not once.
So they have unconventional breakfasts. They have a chicken whatever. It's like
patty.
A chicken. It's not a patty. It's weird. It's like their chicken nuggets, but it's in a little bun.
Okay.
And and then you put honey on it.
Okay.
And that's your breakfast.
All right. I can get down with that.
Oh, they're so good.
Well, and I like to have weird things like eggs on burgers and stuff.
I like eggs on burgers.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, I like eggs on burgers.
I like eggs though.
Yeah.
I'm an egg girl.
Yeah. But could you imagine it could be turkey. Take your turkey,
Yeah.
Put some cranberry on it. Put some cream cheese. Put it on a bagel. Eat it.
You could even instead of bagel, you could do hash browns on both sides. And then you could do.
See, when you told me we were doing this podcast, I'm like, oh, she's going to make us food.
No, I wasn't that.
And Liz is going to eat.
I'm in the middle of packing for 4 people.
That's okay.
It's
but now
just
I'm
not gonna
having
happen.
these ideas in my head.
I've eaten like an entire bowl of pineapple this morning. That's been my thing. So I'm just kind of going with it.
I had my overnight oats this morning. So
There you go.
yeah.
There you go. You're being responsible.
I am.
Staying on track. I did not eat great the last couple of days, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It happens.
It is busy time. So
Yes.
we're just going to move past that. So,
Yes.
okay. So first, change the time.
Yes.
Right now, going to the blending of cultures. So the first thing you need to know about me is I don't color in the lines, which is the whole point of this podcast.
Mhm.
We do not color in the lines. So I have a tendency to take one ethnicity food with another ethnicity food and I blend them. Like tacos at Jennifer's house are not traditional Mexican tacos ever.
Okay.
They're like chicken teriyaki with kimchi through it with sriracha mayo on it with cabbage or coleslaw.
Wow.
Like odd. I never do normal.
But amazing burst of flavors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like violent flavor.
Yeah.
And violent's probably the perfect world because I tend to have really bad allergies 11 months out of 12 a year. I don't have
Yeah.
the seasonal stuff. I have the all the time allergies. So I can't always taste subtleties. I can't have the taste buds that are really like I can't taste like the little undertones. It's like spicy or really vibrant. And I'm like, oh, I just had an explosion in my mouth. It's like, cool. Meaning food before the comedian at the end of the table takes that any other direction. Okay, so that's
PJ's
my
in
whole
the room.
thing.
Sorry. Oh.
Let's hear your. So PJ is not on camera, but
PJ's
PJ
in
is
the room.
our
Hello.
he is our production guy, and he is a foodie. He is a comedian, and he is a D on the personality disc
No,
profiles.
is he really?
Because
He is
everybody knows
totally
what
a
that
D.
means for
That's
sure.
all right. He's a D.
You're a D?
Yeah, there was only 2 of us.
There's 4 of us.
4 of us. That's
There's
right. 4 of us.
me,
You and me
Ryan,
were at the top.
Greg. You.
I would have never
Yeah.
thought him a D.
No.
Interesting.
Interesting.
PJ and I are probably the closest on
Right.
the scale
'cause
together.
on the scale, you were dead noon and I was like 11 o'clock or
Yeah,
something. So
he was
very
over
close
towards the.
Okay.
He's on the D side, but just
All
over.
right.
to the big one.
All right, what's
So-
your idea?
So usual for us, because I'd never heard it before, but it is, I guess back east is a lot of people, parsnips.
Parsnips?
I
Instead
grew
of-
parsnips. Oh, so here, interesting in Idaho, and people don't know this. I grow parsnips here. They turn out bigger than sugar beets.
Yeah, they do.
They're ginormous. So
huge.
here's the story with them. You plant them in the spring like you do everything else. You don't even start harvesting until it gets cold. So you plant them in the spring
Forget
and
about
start digging them out
Yeah.
of the ground November to February.
Yeah.
Big as your head, so freaking sweet. It'll blow your mind. So most people have only ever tried parsnips in the store. And if you haven't seen them, they look like giant white carrots.
Yeah, they
Right?
do.
They're just
Oh, yeah, yeah.
obnoxiously big,
Yeah.
solid white. And you can look at them and go, those are the ugliest carrots ever. And you just kind of roll on. Not so much, because I feel like those are all grown in like Phoenix.
You've made parsnips.
Oh
for
my!
for
We
me
brought them
before.
to a couple
They're
of these.
delicious.
They're unbelievable good, super sweet and sugary. It's one of those things you can roast them in the oven. I just pan fry them with some
Yeah.
butter. They turn out like
Just
candied carrots, or they're
Exactly.
sugary and delicious. And then it's a vegetable,
Well,
so
it's because they're made of starch.
100%.
Yeah.
So you roast them off, starch
so
turns
it's
to
just
sugar.
like a potato.
I have had people literally chase me all over Vegas wanting to buy them because they're used to them, like in the East Coast, or it was their Thanksgiving tradition back east.
Oh.
Can't find them on the West Coast. So when
Have
I
to
had
grow
them
'em.
available, people were freaking out over these parsnips because it was something they're used to. So
It's kind of like the smothered greens and stuff from the South.
100%, and a lot of
Yeah.
people that's our tradition.
Yeah.
If they don't have like some collard greens with Thanksgiving,
Well,
they-
and then
they-
I hear about like
With the bacon in
crawdad
it.
boils, and I'm like, well, just hang out when they empty the ditches, and they'll crawl out on
empty
the yard.
ditches.
Honestly,
Is there
that
crawdads in these
Hey,
canals?
Yeah,
okay,
there
so
is. There's
literally-
crawdads in the canals.
Literally, you're looking out on
Yeah.
our lawn. They emptied the canals 2 years ago, and they're straight up like, somebody's like, "Is there a lobster in the lawn?" I was like, "Oh, that is a big ass crawdad."
No kidding.
Yeah, they were just crawling across the yard.
What kind
Just
of
make sure
gross
that you put
crawdad you get out of
some-
this
you
nasty
put some
canal
You
water.
know,
right?
I
No, you
wouldn't
have to
suggest
clean
Could I have a little
eating
dairy
it.
with my crawdads, please? That sounds delicious. I'm not
Actually-
sure the water in Louisiana is any cleaner, but whatever. You
No,
know?
you take them, you put them in the bathtub. I've been doing this. You put
Oh,
them in the
boy.
bathtub, you put salt in with them, pickling salt, and then they spit out the dirt and stuff that's in them because
Oh,
that's
wow.
how they clean themselves. So you have to rinse them multiple times and clean them. But
That's how
then
you get
they
bugs
taste
out of
really
a
good.
cabbage too.
And broccoli,
Yeah.
and every
Yeah.
other brassica
Yeah.
you bring in the house.
So you
Yeah.
just get
Interesting.
the pickling salt, and they eat it, and then they
Yeah. So
expel
gardening
the
tip for this
dirt.
podcast: you need to get bugs out of apparently crawdads and any
yeah
vegetable.
Yep.
pickling
Just
salt.
Broccoli,
you put it in
cabbage.
salt water and
Mm.
boom,
Yeah.
they come
Yeah.
flying out.
We'll typically do it before we freeze them. We do a lot of freezing.
Yeah, you
at our
do.
so, right? Well, because it's hot and no one wants to eat like soup in the middle of the summer when it's coming off. So we'll get all that good green stuff and put it right in the freezer. And about this time of the year, she just starts breaking stuff out and making soup.
Yep.
You
It
know what I
works
mean?
out
While
really
it's
well.
cold, while you're and just making lots of soup.
It sounds
so.
like PJ needs to make us a spread. We need to have a PJ
Oh,
podcast.
PJ does lots of stuff.
A PJ podcast.
Sourdough bread. Mm.
So we might just come up with a segment that is PJ. Well, and his wife is fire. She's a little spark
Unbelievable.
fire.
Yeah, she
Cooking
spark
with
fire.
PJ.
You give this girl a rock and a Bic lighter, we're having a 5-course meal.
Yeah.
She's like a Girl
Honestly,
Scout
honestly.
on hardcore steroids. She's unbelievable.
She-
Perfect example. When we moved to Twin Falls, there was 4 people and a dog living in a hotel across from the old hospital. Okay. I came home from work. She had roast beef, mashed potatoes, and gravy out of a mini fridge and a microwave. And I just looked at the kids and go, we are spoiled goddamn rotten. The rest
Yes.
of the world is Domino's and McDonald's. And this hooker is rolling with gravy and mashed potatoes out of a mini fridge and a microwave. I'm like, well, you guys don't have any idea how good we got it right now. So she is amazing. So
Okay, so the next podcast, I'm going to have Dave and PJ, and we're going to do an hour-long segment, and we're going to talk about food.
for sure.
So we're going to
There
start
better
there.
be
So
food,
while
though.
we're on the
Yeah.
subject, because we're talking about, so I don't know if you guys know, but Jennifer can't eat anything. She's allergic to water,
yeah. To
air,
air, yeah.
breathing, hair dye. You can't just nothing with this girl.
Pretty
dye.
bad.
But so
Pretty bad.
we started talking about just this week einkorn flour. Are you guys familiar with einkorn flour? I don't know how to pronounce it. EINKORN.
No.
Einkorn.
I thought it said
It is
elkhorn.
no, it's not elk. It's
Yeah.
definitely not. So it
Yeah.
is the only non-hybridized flour on the planet Earth.
Where do you get it from?
So here's the story.
I think there's a website.
Otzi, the Iceman, you guys remember Otzi? They found a complete person
Yes.
buried in the
Yeah.
snow.
Like
He had his
Encino Man
tools, he had his
style?
shoelaces on his
Okay.
foot.
Yeah.
He had einkorn was one of his last meals. He had einkorn seeds on his clothing, right? So this is like a 4,000-year-old dude who literally ate this wheat 4,000 years ago. We know it was his last meal. It was on his So a family in Montana has changed their entire operation. I would assume these people are 600,000 acre farm.
Yeah.
Their entire operation in this Montana ranch now is nothing but einkorn flour.
Einkorn.
So, and here's the weird part, the cool part.
I've got the link. I'll
For
forward it
people
to
who
you.
have
Thanks,
gluten
perfect.
intolerances, for a Jennifer who's got gut issues and can't really eat all the good bread stuff that the rest of us fat ass Americans dig. I
Yeah.
can cuss, right? This is a podcast.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, just
No,
saying.
you're
good.
I'm
You're
just
fine.
making sure this wasn't like a family friendly deal.
Nah, well,
For the people
we're
who can't
okay.
eat, supposedly this is one of the few things that literally our bodies can. So, perfect example: every wheat on the planet has 46 chromosomes. Einkorn has 16. So it just has things in better proportions that we have now. And supposedly, people like Jennifer who are super intolerant to all the rest can scarf this stuff up with no issue. So, I tried to borrow your brother's Dutch oven because the recipe for this bread.
Did he bring it?
No, I don't think it's big enough. But because I think I got to cook this in like a 7-quart Dutch oven to make this. It's a 3-ingredient bread.
I might have one.
No kneading. You literally put the ingredients in, let it sit overnight. You bake it tomorrow. Don't touch
Yeah.
it. You don't knead it. You don't shape it.
That's
you
my
basically
kind of bread.
Doesn't need
mix
yeast.
it, put it in a bowl tomorrow, and cook it. So we're gonna do this for
Okay.
sure. And I'm making it for you. One, I want to try it because I'm nosy.
Let's
but
do
I'm
it for the
totally
Thanksgiving
making
party.
it for you when you come home.
Yeah.
We'll whip this up because I have a sourdough starter I've had going for now for
Perfect.
like 7 years.
Because I'm a glutard. I'm intolerant, but not celiac. It's a pain in my
Mm-hmm.
ass.
Yeah.
I can eat sourdough because it's fermented.
Right, 100%.
And so anybody
So
who has gut
even
sensitivities
normal
or
pe-
gluten sensitivities, you can usually tolerate sourdough.
Correct. And
Is
so
that
I'm
why I
hoping
love
between the
sourdough so much?
wheat,
Yeah, you can tolerate it.
Okay.
that's what I'm hoping between the change of wheat and
Yeah.
the sourdough. This might be
It's
something you can make
if
and
you
eat on
put
the
milk
reg.
in it, you're just an asshole.
No,
so
again.
as long as you don't put milk in your sourdough, because I can't eat it then because I can't do dairy either. Hello, allergic to air.
The
So
other thing
yeah,
for you is no added yeast.
yeah.
So if you
It does make a
stick to
difference.
just the starter, it takes longer to rise. In other words, this bread
long-
is a
7 years.
15-hour, right? You got to make it tonight. It's got to sit for 10 to 15.
Yeah, it's
you
got to
bake it
raise
tomorrow.
on its own.
So part of the glutard thing
Yeah.
is no added yeast. Just use your natural
Correct.
sourdough
It
starter.
has to go
this
through the
ingredient is
fermentation
starter,
and
flour,
rise.
and salt. That's the whole
I can
recipe.
I can do that
Water.
as long
I'm
as
sorry, I
it's
forgot
fermented.
water.
Oh, as long
I
as
figure
it's
that's
not
a
milk.
safe ingredient. I don't have to explain to you every time.
Most of the
There's
time.
water in your food. You'll be
God.
okay.
It's like, what's in the water?
I know, right?
That's when it's a problem.
Exactly. So anyways, einkorn flour and parsnips. That's PJ's
All right.
two weird.
So PJ will be on a future podcast.
As long
so will
as there's
Dave.
food.
Dave's sitting over there. And
I know.
Dave's my podcast man too. He actually listens.
I hope
to
there's
French too.
food.
So
Right.
if you sit here long enough, you will end up with chili and cornbread
I mean,
because it is
Maybe.
Foodie Friday.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we still got leftovers from yesterday, so we got plenty of food.
Yeah,
for
we
the
got
whole day.
food.
oh no, I
No
just,
one will
I
go
just
hungry
want
today.
you to make all of this food and then be on a podcast, and I'm going to
Her
sit
whole
here and
team's
eat
like,
it.
don't tell us about it. Make that shit and bring it to work. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Stop
Yeah.
talking. Bring food
Yeah,
into the
stop
office.
talking. Just show up with
Just
food.
show up with food.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I always joke that food's my love language, and I try
Mine
to
is
practice
too.
that for our staff.
I think a lot of
Yes.
us, or it must be the D's or something. It's for
Maybe.
sure. For sure.
I'm a high.
I think you set a table with food and then you just film everybody's reactions as they're eating the food.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be a cool podcast.
Well, and then you
I'm
get to
down.
do those like blind taste things.
right.
Oh,
And we come up with like a whole series and we
you
do it
should
like
get
once a month.
tie-dye moss blindfolds.
We could do
Hey,
that.
is this a
at-
sex show? What is going
Yeah.
on right now? I thought this was like food
no,
and
we're the
plants.
blindfold food test.
She's like talking about tie-dye,
Hey.
blindfolds.
So PJ, yeah, we actually almost talked about that show on this podcast.
Maybe another.
Yeah, we'll
Maybe another.
that one's this is
The 10 o'clock
sponsored by
show.
the greenhouse. Granted, I can explain myself pretty well.
Okay, good.
We
So
just said go to Netflix and search how to build ...
There you go.
and left it at that.
And don't plan on making it to work on
And
time
it
the
is
following
an
day.
interior design show, as much as it might be a very
With an old lady.
which
Right.
is
What could go wrong with that?
hilarious.
Interior design with an old lady. What could possibly
Yeah,
be
we will
not family
leave
friendly
that
with
at
that?
that. That is your homework.
Zach's already watched the whole thing. He's all
Isn't
like,
it
I already watched it.
Fabulous.
so
He's-
good.
Zach is
So
nodding.
good.
so
It's so
good.
good.
PJ, actually, I told PJ about this, and it was like a Monday.
Yeah.
And we had production the next day, and he's passive aggressively texting me at like 11 o'clock the next day, like, I hate you right now. And I'm just like, what?
Ignoring
I
me.
Yeah, I'm totally ignoring him. Like,
Have time for this
don't
asshole.
care. I do not have time for this. And literally, he had binge watched the entire show that
Yeah.
night.
I'm mad at you because
So-
I don't get enough sleep last night because I was up till like 2 a.m. watching that stupid show. That was great. By the way, great.
So yeah, I was like, why are
dear.
you mad at me?
Oh,
And I
dear.
like circled back like a day later. He's like, you told me about a show that I binge watched and it was amazing.
It's so
I was
good.
like, yeah,
Such a
it was
good
so
show.
good.
It really was.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a total different one.
I have an
So-
Amazon wish list based on that show now.
Yeah, ooh,
Yeah.
dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we will get back on topic. How's our timer going,
Yeah, how's
producer?
that, Zach?
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh,
Okay, so timing of meal, we've covered that. All right, so let's tackle what everybody's gonna have to deal with. Avian flu. What is a turkey? It's a bird.
It's a bird.
The whole
Avian flu?
avian flu, bird flu.
Is that bird flu?
bird flu?
I was like, there's a word for
Avian
it.
is like the scientific word for bird.
Is there really a turkey shortage?
Yeah, there's
Oh.
definitely a turkey shortage.
Is there?
Like hundreds of thousands of turkeys are dead.
That's sad.
You know,
Free the birds.
Okay, this is terrible.
They were gonna die anyway.
Well, I know, but
What do you mean, poor turkeys? They're gonna get eaten.
Okay, that was a touche moment.
touche.
That was a touche
Touche.
moment. But no, so avian flu is bird flu, but
Okay.
avian's like the scientific version.
Okay.
So there's going to be a turkey shortage. So basically, the way I need to confess something right now. I'm a turkey hater. I like turkey lunch meat. I like dark turkey legs, like caveman style.
Yes.
The rest of it, you can keep that shit.
I have to
I
like
don't want
slather it with like nasty. It's too dry for me.
Yes.
I like the dark meat.
And I also don't like white meat on chicken. I
Yeah.
tend to lean towards
I
the
like the
thighs
dark.
and the
Yep.
legs. Like
Yep.
I like meat with a little bit more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't like bland, and turkey is bland to me. And that's a personal thing. Now, a turkey that you can do all the turkey loins and all the other stuff, and I can get down with that. That's not any big thing. So I am just not your traditional turkey
Right.
person. Now, I've done the turkey. I cooked one upside down once my first time. That
My
was kind of
husband
funny.
did. He actually last year it was really cool. So we have a Traeger. He split it and then
Okay.
cut it flat.
Butterflied it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really good.
Oh, I'm sure it was tasty.
and it took out like all of that nasty. Like a lot of it was just dark meat.
That's the way to have it.
And so like
That's
he
my
didn't have to
preference.
stuff it. You didn't have to. He butterflied it and like it was good.
Delicious.
It was
Right?
delicious. Because
Well,
it had
so-
like that crust over it. Oh yeah.
People are going to be challenged. Now, if you're buying your turkey like today, you probably will get one. It's what, the 3rd or 4th?
Today's the 4th.
It's
I'm
the
gonna
4th
have to go buy
of
a turkey.
November.
Mhm.
Like, if you're going to want turkey, go now. Get in your car. Just go.
Yeah.
And good luck finding the right size. I couldn't tell you. I'm not even going to shop for a turkey.
I
We're not
always
doing it.
thought that I knew the right size, but then nobody actually eats the right size, so I'm gonna just get smaller from now on
Exactly.
because
Well,
I don't want
and
to stuck with all this turkey.
do you want leftover turkey? Now,
No.
some people cook big
do?
turkey specifically to have leftover turkey. It is okay.
That's Zach.
I hate turkey dinner. I hate Thanksgiving dinner in general.
But
All
you like the
food is bland.
leftovers, don't you?
Turkey sandwiches with a little bit of ketchup. That's my jam.
That's it. Money shut. Found it.
Ketchup,
Not
Yeah.
cranberry sauce,
Oh yeah, a little bit of cranberry. You know.
But
You
ketchup?
gotta-
but that sweetness. Right?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sweetness is important.
interesting. Okay.
So fresh tomatoes wouldn't do the same thing.
I mean, that'd be good. I've never tried that.
There's
I
not
like
really
bread,
fresh
turkey,
tomatoes
and a
in-
sauce. That's it.
in
But you don't
November.
use like the leftover dinner rolls?
Usually, you have leftover dinner rolls.
Yeah.
Usually, those are the first thing that are destroyed at my.
No,
Okay,
my family's
so-
weird.
I didn't realize how big of a deal this was to my husband, and he'll like pigeonhole what he needs in a container and hide it in the fridge just so that he can have sandwiches later. And like he needs at least 1 or 2 significant leftover sandwiches to like feel like his life is complete.
Oh,
And so,
those
like-
are what I get excited about. Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
care about
Really?
the dinner itself. The turkey sandwiches after are like the highlight.
Well, and I'm like, who can I bribe so that they forget to buy turkey so we can have prime rib or crab? Because I'm an asshole.
Ooh.
Prime rib
But-
would be
Crab
Okay.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, hell yeah. We do it for Christmas too. Actually, my
Oh.
uncle gets crab one night. We usually do prime rib one night. So we don't really do traditional most of the time. But, you know, in case we have family or something in town, we do work on doing something that is, if it's important to somebody. So, like, my aunt was in from Spain last Thanksgiving. She's here this Thanksgiving. You saw her in passing.
I did.
Yeah, which she actually brought her husband. So she lives in the Basque Country of Spain, and she actually just retired. She owned a school of English as a third language,
Mm.
and she married a Basco. Antone, he's awesome. Antone used to own discotheques, and yeah, this is a whole nother story. And he's an amazing cook, and yeah, so turkey was really important to her last year. This year, we're just like. She goes, "Can we have turkey?" I said, "Do you need to have turkey?" She goes, "Actually, I don't care." And she doesn't really eat a lot of meat. She's a little particular. She's very plant-based,
Okay.
and she doesn't have all the stomach retardation that I do. She's just very specific about her needs. She's also like a miniature human. She's a teeny person, and she just doesn't need a lot. We always just joke that she's a billy goat because she just climbs mountains and she can live on freaking okra. Yeah.
I mean,
she's the
okra's
only-
good.
The only person I've watched eat okra and moan in pleasure while eating okra. That is my Aunt Debbie. Yes. Yes, that is my Aunt Debbie. So that was the conversation 2 nights ago. She goes, do we do turkey? And so we actually came down, we're doing pheasant and king salmon from Alaska that my dad fished in June. And so
Pheasant.
we're going to have pheasant. They're actually pheasant hunting today and yesterday. They didn't do opening weekend because there wasn't really any birds because of avian flu. So they actually bought some birds, released them on the property. They're hunting them. We're going to keep some pheasant, do that on Thanksgiving because my uncle Antone is going to be here and he's going to cook the pheasant. And then we're going to do probably either cedar plank salmon or we're going to roast it or something. I mean, salmon is just, I love salmon. Salmon's my
Speaking
favorite
of that,
fish.
I haven't seen many birds.
Okay, so when avian flu hits, it is not specific to a kind of bird. It'll knock out entire population.
I was just thinking about that as you were
Now,
talking about it.
that
Huh.
said,
Interesting.
think of it like this is going to be a gross generalization and some scientist is going to blast me. But think of it like this. Forest fires are typically, if they're not started by man, a natural way to clear
Absolutely.
the forest.
I agree with that.
Disease in entire
Mm-hmm.
populations of animals is a similar concept. So
Agree.
have you ever seen a bird like fly into your car when you're driving down the road? Or
Yeah.
we have them fly into greenhouses and garage doors. That
Right.
seems to be a thing. That's usually a disease that started with mice that they ate, that then goes through the owl population, and then the numbers greatly decrease, and then they slowly repopulate. So it's going to be kind of a similar cycle with the birds, and that was a disease from the mice to the birds. So the hawks would suffer the same thing. In this case, avian flu, it's going to just affect anything birds. Now, if you're if you're harvesting birds, oh boy, Dave is bringing you food to try chili.
Oh dear.
And it is steaming hot.
It is
Oh my
steaming
gosh.
hot.
See, this is full on Thanksgiving. So Dave's a traditionalist in food. So he is.
That looks spicy.
That's not.
Well,
You'll be fine. He doesn't
Oh,
do spicy. I know
my
this.
kind of man.
And I definitely do spicy.
Mm.
You're doing just fine. Tastes good.
Mhm.
I would put a hair of salt, but I live on a salt block. So I love salt. Yeah, Dave does have a blood pressure sensitivity. He doesn't do much salt. It's a small maze to get to where we are.
It's a labyrinth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, you got some food.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like some pineapple to really screw that all up now? Yep, they got a thumbs up.
I got a thumbs up.
Yep. So I would say with avian flu, you might not have the capacity to find turkey in the same ability you had before. So just, if you get to that point, be open. Try something different. Now, let's talk about food sensitivities.
Okay.
Because I'm a person like this. So the way I look at food sensitivities, and I was reading on Ina Gardner, she had an article I was reading in Bon Appetit the other day, and she was kind of saying, how does she address food sensitivities?
Yeah.
Because you might have somebody who's a vegetarian coming. You might have somebody who's celiac or gluten intolerant. You might have somebody who's lactose intolerant. Like, I'm actually allergic to the casein protein in milk. I'm not lactose intolerant. But they exhibit the similar symptoms. So her whole thing was, if you have vegetarian coming, just don't put meat in the side dishes. Make sure that you just have, your
That's
main.
so weird to me when people put sausage in their stuffing.
What is the one that used to be forced on us occasionally?
So weird.
Oysters. It's not terrible.
I
So
don't like slimy
here's a
things.
really. No, Zach's got a thing.
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
Oysters and stuffing?
Yes.
Is that what I heard?
It's very traditional. And
How is it traditional?
it's a cultural thing in a different part of the country, and I couldn't tell you where.
Sounds
I
like
haven't
a
done
New
the homework.
England thing.
Yeah,
That
that
sounds like it
very
had to
sounds
come
like an
from New
East
England.
Coast thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I can't tolerate? I get hives in my mouth. Celery.
Yeah.
Because celery is in
You told us
everything.
about that story.
Okay, so celery is always in stuffing. So I like to do untraditional stuffing too.
No.
I'm a weirdo, and I have a hard time with bread. So I'll come up with like completely different idea of stuffing. My mother, stovetop from a box. That is what she wants. That is what Thanksgiving is to her.
Right.
Okay.
So the way that Ina Gardner said it is, she said, make sure that you just adjust so that, because being somebody with food sensitivities, you show up to a meal and you can only eat like 2 things. So also challenge, you know what? Everybody offers to bring something, let them.
Yes.
If they don't know what to bring, say, hey, will you do the starch?
I
hey, will
love
you do a vegetable?
potlucks, and I
Hey, will
really
you
want
do-
to do like a Friendsgiving and have everybody bring something.
I think so too. And I'm tempted to like have one the weekend before Thanksgiving and just do a Friendsgiving that Sunday based around football, because that's easy.
and
then everybody
just
should bring
brings
something.
their favorite thing.
We do the 6:00 game, or we do the 2:25 game, whatever it is.
Yeah.
My husband would know exactly who's playing and all of the nonsense. Like fantasy football last night, he's like, hand me your phone. I'm like, here, just take care of it. Like, because he's like, it's 2 minutes before the. Oh my God, just take it. Just take it. I don't care. Fix it. Move whatever player you need to move. I participate. I just was focused on other things, like preparing our entire family to go to Disneyland. That takes precedence over who's in my freaking
I
lineup.
agree. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing I would say. Don't stress yourself out trying to do the whole meal. And you do not have to have it perfect. How many times do you feel pressure because you're like, it has to be perfect? I'm asking a female that because that is a female problem.
I've
typically.
only cooked Thanksgiving dinner once, and I said I will never do it again.
I think I've done it twice, and I was super flexible. And there was a lot of things I bought. Like Costco does an awesome job at sweet potato mashed
does
potatoes.
Kroger
I can see
will
that.
like give you a box.
They'll cook your whole dinner for you.
Yeah.
It's bitchin'.
Which is nice. So last
Awesome.
year we didn't cook Thanksgiving dinner.
You bought
we
it.
had it so a thing that Ryan's daughter Charlie does is we gather money and we give hot meals to those who can't have a Thanksgiving. So
That is a wonderful
people
cause.
that are living in hotels, people
Mhm.
that are, you know,
Have
Yeah.
a lighter
Yeah.
and a
Right.
microwave and a
And so we
they are not
had-
PJ's wife. If
we
we
had-
could clone
Yeah.
her, oh my god, Christina.
or the extra, the elderly people who
Yeah.
don't have anybody.
They have no one.
Yeah. And so we get hot meals and hold on, Zach, hold that thought.
He's got that
I'm
look.
holding on. Do you
So
see me? I'm waiting.
We get hot meals and we deliver them on Thanksgiving. It's a very humbling experience, and I made my
Oh,
kids
yeah.
go with me last year. And like this
Man.
12-year-old girl who just turned 12 is amazing and has a great heart. But
That's so
yeah,
awesome.
there was an extra meal, so we got that last year.
That's
And it
wonderful.
was really good.
Getting
Yes.
kids involved is a big deal. Zach
Yes,
has something to
Zach.
say.
Show idea.
Okay.
Bear Grylls style.
'Kay.
We see how big of a meal PJ's wife can make with like a lighter, a
PJ?
spoon.
Are you listening? We're gonna have a Bear Grylls style competition.
Okay.
We're gonna find somebody of your wife's caliber to put up against her, and we're gonna give them like a Bic, a hot rock, and like they have to MacGyver a meal and see who
There
does
you
better.
go.
I got 100 on my old lady.
I might actually have 500 on your old lady, but we are taking applications for somebody who wants to compete against
There
her,
you go.
and there will be a $500 Moss gift card as a reward.
Boom.
Like I'm
That'd
not
be
even
awesome.
messing around.
There you go.
Like your yard is gonna be so
And
cool.
then we'll give them jackfruit. And
Oh, I love jackfruit.
Jackfruit. Yeah.
I love jackfruit.
Didn't we find that at Albertsons when we went
Yeah.
there a
Yeah.
couple years ago?
Yeah,
right?
those
They're
things are
Yeah.
massive.
gigantic.
They're so cool. But
jackfruit,
if you
parsnips, and something chocolate.
Oh, look at
Ooh.
you guys. So besides having to cook with a rock and their thighs of a virgin, you're like, nope, we're gonna give them weird food too.
Yeah,
They have
why
just
not?
yeah,
making
it's like
it
a
impossible.
basket. Do you remember Kitchen Impossible where they like
Oh, I
they
do.
open the basket and it's like
So
tuna
that's
and
also
cranberries.
why we need to include Dave. One of his total side passions is he loves to watch cooking shows.
Oh,
especially
yes.
competition
He
shows.
does the one at Ladies
Yes, he
Night.
does.
Oh, hell
yes,
yeah,
he does.
chopped.
Chopped moss style.
Moss
Yeah,
style.
in their containers instead
There's
of food.
actually an old picture of Dave somewhere that I saw, and we were going through chamber stuff.
Yeah.
And there's an old picture of Dave
It's from the
on the
65th
chamber
anniversary one.
Facebook page, and
we
he's
did it
got
on the
full
conveyor
beard.
belts.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
it was- it was March
You know, we
25th,
had to
2017. I
have
remember
a chopped
that.
moss style.
Yeah.
Got the kitchen for it and just do a filming
Hell yeah.
and start with the 3 people and
We
just
just
do
go.
it and go. That would be really
I
cool.
Well,
wanna-
we can do
I'm
the
a
prep
judge.
station in
Okay.
here.
I'm
All
a
right. There you go.
judge.
Yeah.
And we could set everything up. Have the judges and all of that.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
it'd be great
We'll
because
come up with
I
it.
would be the one that's like,
Probably the local community should know our advertising dollars are going away from traditional advertising and we're going a lot more interactive with podcasts and YouTube because
we could
That's-
set up a form for you so people can fill this out
this could be fun.
and we can
Yeah.
just get it out.
This could be fun.
Oh, look at Zach and his ideas.
Okay, well, we should wrap this up, but like the messages I want you to leave you with, don't stress yourself and strive to be perfection. Make sure that you're there to have a good time and spend time with the people you care about. Get outside of the box, try something different. Again, I think we've talked about this on previous shows. I pick a vegetable or some food
Mhm.
I don't like each year and try to learn to like it. By the way, tried to make sauerkraut. Epic fail. Black fuzzy. It was bad, but I tried.
Good job. Good effort.
And I'm gonna try again. I've already made notes about what I did wrong. I
Good.
know exactly what I did wrong. I didn't seal it properly.
Oh,
My fault. I also have a borrowed crock, and I really appreciate lending me a crock. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna learn. I read a Facebook or a
Oh, yeah.
website, and I need to do some proper research. I thought like this is super simple. It's salt and cabbage and thyme. It's not quite that simple.
you have to
There's
worry
a-
about elevation and you have to worry.
Yeah, no, there's
Mhm.
if anybody understands this, it is me. Here's burnout. And we do need to do an episode on burnout at one point, which we will. I'm going to get through the healing of a vacation
Yeah.
before I do that, though,
Yes.
because I do not think I am properly in the mindset to handle it.
No.
But with that, guys, have an awesome Thanksgiving and don't color inside the lines. And with that, we'll wrap up. But thank you for watching, listening to whatever you might be doing, Bloom in Full Color. And I invite you to go live life in full color because plain is pretty boring. And don't have a normal Thanksgiving. And if you're a little bit hesitant, I just ask that you do one dish that's completely out of the box. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.